I just started with the starter for the course today, digitalization, and anything is impossible. Before COVID, everyone saying that impossible for digitalization. After COVID, everyone accepted that. But anything impossible to possible, we have to give the right example. Otherwise, we will not accept. So I welcome Mr. C.K. Ranganathan, Chairman and Managing Director, Kevin Care Private Limited. He is hailed from, born brought up in Kadalur, and he started his Chick India shampoo company in 1983, and now he is in pan-India presence, and no introduction is required. So I request Mr. C.K. Ranganathan to take it on. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, all. It's my pleasure to be with you and share my thoughts. First of all, I would like to thank Axis Bank and Dun & Bradstreet for giving me this opportunity. I also would like to thank Axis Bank for supporting us through various stages of our growth. Thank you, sir. Thank you, the Axis Bank, in partnering in our growth. Times are changing. Times have changed. COVID has brought in a huge change in the world, particularly in the business world as well. In the last 2 decades, the change has been very, very rapid. And now all we need to look at that as to how we evolve, how we shift our gear. So I would like to talk about around the theme. So you can see that tech companies are doing exceedingly well. A lot of new technology companies, if you look at the valuations of multifold, and that's very prevalent. A startup with 5 crores of turnover will demand something like a 100 crores of valuation. So if the potential is there. Somebody is making loss. You know that some of the big companies, 2,500 crore, 3,000 crore, making loss of about 5,000 crore, 4,000 crore. And their valuation is $10 billion, $20 billion, and so on. Quite a lot of time there were debates that these valuations are farce. It has been happening ever since technology companies. These are overvalued, not right, and so on. But there is a science behind that. So I don't want to dwell into that detail. But what's happening is that the new generation companies, the new technology companies or new method are growing faster. They are building quick turnovers. And of course, some of them are quickly making profits also. I would like to well-known brand across the world, if you look at Amazon. How many years they have been making loss? Google, they have been making loss for years. But now look at their balance sheet, they are making huge profits. At that time, people were wondering, even in US, I don't know how many of you have followed, the criticism about the valuation, that this is farce. And all have shut their mouth now. That's now, it has come through. So the kind of the companies have grown is very impressive. All the more reason, disruptions happening in business models. Amazon, just an online shop. Who thought that when Amazon came in, the offline bookstores, the chain of bookstores who used to rock in those days, our own famous landmark here, many of you may remember, all are gone. So why a business model is disrupted? It is because the convenience. Finally, at the end of the day, the consumers are seeing a great convenience. Similarly, the same kind of disruption may happen in our own business. We can't rest in our laurels that nothing will happen to me. our business is safe and secure. I think we need to be watchful is a point I would like to say. Because thinking, we are sitting here, I went to US about 4 years ago to San Francisco, the Tech Valley. Went to a lot of innovative startups, went through them, heard a lot of business ideas. Plethora of startup company. That's why it's called startup world. So only Bangalore is now catching up. China is also a big startup evolution centers. What they are doing is sitting there, which are the business models I can disrupt and destroy. The companies are thinking, the small companies coming together and thinking like that. I can tell you one example. There is people die every kind of this thing, any time human beings die someday. There is a business around it. So one smart group of entrepreneurs, startups, they caught. I was fascinated by their business model. They were sharing about their model is like this. If some death happened in your family, you just call up. End to end is taken care of. That's it. No need to worry. It's not only organizing a van, putting the body in the cold, organizing a place in the mortuary or whatever required kind of thing, finally up to the certificates, what is to be given. Everything is done at a very attractive price. So you can take care of the kind of people and all other things. You can mourn, all these things are there. Don't worry about other arrangements. That's their promise. They started off, I was following their progress also. They started off, at that time they were telling, a year ago, they were getting about 10 cases per week. So when we went there, they were talking about 200 cases per week. That is only SF, San Francisco area. Okay. So now I was following through, they have expanded in multiple cities across US. And now they are talking of close to about 20,000 people they are handling, bodies they are handling every day. So that's the kind of growth. It's just disrupting. So imagine there was somebody who is doing the van and some kind of this thing, a lot of people are edged out. They have got in their own vans. Now I am also seeing in Chennai some of the things also, high class Benz and kind of this thing, vans, very decorative. Depends on what class, how much you want to spend, is all available. So the business model might be disrupted. That is one big thing I would like to say, what we need to be watchful of. Consumer habits are changing fast. Their behavior is changing. Online shopping is a way of life today. They continue to do now, after Corona, offline and online is happening. But online is going to catch up more and more. If you ask me, will offline go off? No, it won't. But a lot of products, the comparison, I'm sure you might all be knowing, I was also not an exception. I went to a TV store along with my family, saw the kind of TVs, which are the best TVs and so on, picked it up and parallelly looked at online rates, 10% cheaper. Said, okay, thank you, I'll buy it online, I came off. Placed order online, within 2 days it was delivered. So that same thing happening to mobiles and seeing. There's one of my friend who is owning a mobile chain of mobile stores, he was sharing that people coming, they look at the model, everything, parallelly checking online, this is prevalent. So if it's not cheaper, we are edged out. So this is a case. I think this is a new habit we need to get adopted. People want value. And comparison. So new AA is I think it's quite an impressive one. We thought, okay, how do I wear and so on. And there's also, companies are giving a lot of benefits. If you are not happy, return it back. That I think is a very important thing, it's a shift we are making. 20% cheaper. Why do we go and pay offline so much price more? play anymore. And my earlier speaker was talking about data is the new oil. I think it's a very important thing. But we need to know how the digital world will disrupt us. What will happen? One of the very important things is automation is here to stay. I don't know how many people are aware of the site being updated. They update very, very frequently. They update it. You punch a job and see what's the level of automation as far as the job is concerned. Accountant, say 98% automated. What's happening in the world? And some course if you do, will say you are doomed. So you can browse for a tailor to anything. Any job you can see what's the level of automation that has happened in the world. Do you think those things will stay only in that portion? It will not come to India or to our town? It's a matter of time. It's just like the technology travels much more faster than people do. So it's very important that we understand to be competitive. You need to know if somewhere these jobs are automated, I am doing it manually, my cost of production is higher. But that's a very fundamental thing. How will we be destroyed to go competition? It is because that I am more expensive in terms of production. If you are hated, the chances are very less. Why would any businessman in any part of the world will buy at a higher price? Just for the sake of the kind of moral value like the Ukraine-Russia war, it can happen. But otherwise, there is no merit in that. Eventually, water will find its own course. It will flow where the kind of this thing, where it has to flow. So the same way, if the price is lower, the quality is good, if the service is excellent, you can be any part of the world. The business will automatically come. Very important thing. So I would like to state, a lot of you would be 45% of the Indian economy is manufacturing. How many of us having machines which are not IoT enabled, be it hospitals, be it any machine, for example, and that's going to be very, very mandatory. You can get a lot of data from this thing. What happens is, you get a machine, somebody will punch what is the productivity of the machine, when it was serviced, all these things. You don't need to do. The IoT, Internet of Things, that does it. You just fix that enables the machine, it feeds the computer automatically. Therefore, what is the advantage of that? Somebody punching it. The error comes out of that. Not punching it. All these things are gone. You have 100% anytime available data about that. You are not dependent on your person, which is a very big shift. When you adapt digital technology, person dependency to process dependency is a big shift. It's automated. So that is one as far as machine is concerned. Software. So we did a campaign during Corona. Before Corona also, I think I would say, I'm not ashamed. I started off my company with 2-3 people, just as a very, very small small scale industry, but evolved over a period of time. Completely a person-dependent company, not a process. Process is there, but person dependency is predominant. Any small company will evolve like that. Exception might be tech companies. But the beauty of it is how well you transform from a person dependence to process dependency. Process is supreme, and persons are important, absolutely. We require people who can do a wonderful job. But if you demean processes, you won't be able to grow. It will limit your growth opportunities. So we ran a campaign in the company, process dependency and not person dependency. People are disappointed. So am I not important? I said not, it's not like that. It is important whether you are there or someone is there, the work needs to be carried on easily. If you leave the job, somebody joins, should be able to adapt to the job within 2 hours of joining. Is it possible? If you have a wonderful process, it's possible. Do I need to recruit somebody and train them for 6 months, 1 year to adapt to that job? Or shall we create a process that can easily, one can adapt and grow very well? So these are the questions. We argued and aligned. Yes, people finally agreed. Let's move on to process dependency. In the last 3 years of our journey, we have substantially enhanced our automation. Lot of these things, errors, data governance, it's coming through. People will download Excel sheet. Now our campaign is no more Excel sheets. Excel sheets is an enemy of our this thing. We don't want Excel sheets. We want straight from the kind of this thing. It's a very, very important thing. Many small companies, we also started like that. We used to have Tally. We used to have in our own computer. Now, I think that one of the things I would like to say is, I would not say wrong, but look at that's person dependency again. If you keep it in your computer, move on to more and more online, because we have now moved everything to online. Because that's far superior, unless there is a data security aspect of it. I don't want anybody to see. There are methods for that. Data can be encrypted. We host our data in Amazon, web. So like that, I think it's a kind of this thing opportunity available in terms of how you kind of do that. But my one sincere advice is, small to medium industries wanting to grow, please over-invest in your finance and accounts team. Have good quality persons who have data analytical capability, because I could see when I have not invested, I have not grown. I was remaining small. When I changed gear, that is a big shift for me. And I invested in technology ahead. 1997, when we were just below 100 crores, I invested in SAP software. And that was a defining moment for us. At the same time, Colgate-Palmolive was going worldwide as SAP kind of this software. It's the most difficult, advanced software. And that has redefined our journey, if you ask me. Investing in high-quality software, investing in high-quality finance professionals made a huge difference. Another thing we did well, when we looked at our business, what is the critical thing in our business? You need to know, when you look at that business, is which function needs to be, I need to stack A-class talent. I need to be very, very thorough about that. I can't have a suboptimal levels there. I can't think that I'm a technical person myself. I will complement this. Therefore, let me run the organization. So when we looked at our FMCG business, the most two functions are very critical, if you ask me. Rather three, I would say. Sales, marketing, and R&D. Production you can outsource. These are three functions. Once we have a very clear clarity, all other functions are required, but need not be top class. So we said, okay, we'll ensure that these are strengthened significantly. So we overstacked our R&D capacity. And no looking back. I can tell you the innovation flow. We are able to grow, fight multinationals, continue to grow. So investing in R&D is a very big deal. And investing in sales, distribution, investing in marketing, stacked marketing with very, very high quality team, processes, and that has helped us to grow. Flow of innovation. Now, having done, now our current focus, if you ask me, invest in technologies big time. Invest in analytics, AI-led analytics. Now, that's very important. We need to predict what's going to happen. So there's quite a lot of this kind of things is very important for survival, is what I would say. Also, one of the important thing is we need to count our differences over competition. What are the key difference? Every business will have a competition. So we only say our benchmark. I can't say 10 competition, I can't say I get defocused. We will say critical competition, benchmark competition we call. If I am competing with our shampoo chick, our benchmark competition is, cross-line competition is, I can say 3 or 4, but we clearly narrow down on one. Clinic Plus is our competition, period. We know what is their strength and where we need to beat. The consumer, you need to know, consumer decision-making process of buying, even a customer or consumer, is phenomenally simple, not very complicated. You need to understand what are the 2 or 3 points on which they make a decision to buy your product. If you know that, please understand if that is a key critical thing, beat competition on that, at least by a 2 point over 10 on a 10 scale. You will be there. Because that's a very, very important thing. So we have taken a very clear call. This is the area where we need to beat. Let's beat it squarely. When we went there to marketing, we tested with one product, second product, third product. It works. Works every time. It's a universal principle worldwide. It works for Maruti car. It works for Benz. Anybody for that matter. You need to know what are the 2 or 3 points on which the decisions are made by your customer. Beat on that your competition squarely. Guaranteed you will succeed. So I would like to also talk about one more this thing. The traditional organization structure is created long time ago. Please relook at that. We have relooked at. I can tell you we have relooked at that. Because that doesn't work anymore. World has changed. The automation has happened quite a lot. The computer-aided thing. Earlier, one person can supervise, for example, supervise about 5 people or 8 people on the field. Now we are folding close to about 15 to 20 people, most efficient, higher productivity. Finally, at the end of the day, what does it matter? Because every data is fed in the hand of the mobile on a fingertip. So all you need to do is how do you effectively review? You don't need to download and look at what data and all. What action need to be taken also given readily for the salesperson. Need to open up within 2 minutes, you assimilate what need to be talked, what are the kind of ticking points, what needs to be pushed. Everything is done. The technology has evolved so much. I can tell you, our salesman go to a store. Somewhere in UP, some corner he goes there. When he opens the outlet app, it shows what he bought last time, what he will likely to order this time, okay? What he need to push. These are 2, 3 items he is very likely to buy. You push these items do not make any efforts now. Very clearly comes out. He makes those few calls very clearly, most successful, better than last week's visit. Improves 1 notch up. Every week, small improvement. This is what AI does. Every time you go there to the outlet you open, what is that you need to push compared to last time based on the past data accumulation. So when you start, this is why he was talking about data is a new oil. How do we use it is very, very important. So when the salesman makes a call, he knows what to be done. Otherwise, even a very knowledgeable person can't interpret like that. What is that? How can I use? What needs to be asked? Even for a review is a very, very important thing. What needs to be reviewed? Where is the mistake? All these things, when you use the data very effectively, it will give. Another shift that has happened to us big time, from a small company to big time, is execution. World belongs to people who execute very well. I split execution into 3 ways. Okay? Very simple thing is me and my subordinates. In any organization like that, no? Not even my peer. I'm leading finance, then I'm not even talking HR or sales or anybody. Any job within the function, if I'm supposed to do, am I doing it within the prescribed time, on time, every time? Very important. If I don't have that capability of doing a job which nobody can interfere, it will be me and my subordinate only, then I'm failing in my duty. We started recognizing this. It is a very fundamental flaw if somebody is slipping on that time and again. Don't have such kind of person. Want them, train them, give them all these things, but be ruthless if people failing in that. Because mediocrity tolerance will cost you dearly. The second kind of execution this thing is, I am there, I can do very well with my own function, but my peer, he doesn't report to me. Okay? Peer doesn't report to you, but you have to work as a team. getting things done. I would also include your vendors, where you can have a slightly more influence and get things done. Vendors will definitely say, to satisfy customer, they will dance to your tune. So it is like a peer network. Your own, within the organization, I would say vendors also I will include in that. So if you can get the job done, there also you need to succeed not less than 100%. But at least I would say, there is some ifs and buts will be there. You should be at least 98% plus, not less than that. Where is the uncertainty is, I don't control my competition behavior. I don't control my customers. So what do I do? Whether they will buy, whether they will come to me, or what is the kind of offer my competition will give, I have no idea, clue. So that function, I will have specialists who will manage and take quick calls in these uncertainties and still be able to be there 95% plus time, on time. And that's very important. If you start looking at these three buckets, and it will be easy for you to definitely look at what kind of thing. Please validate your execution capability in your organization. Is the people delivering what is to be delivered, everything internally controllable. No, nothing blame. If I am to go and take license from government, I can't say that I have to get it within 15 days. Sometime it might happen, sometime it may get delayed. But that is uncertainty outside. I don't have influence. But wherever I have influence within the organization, with my vendors, within my function, if I fail, that's not at all acceptable. So I think when you start training our team like that, when you start pushing it, working with them, helping them to develop that kind of this thing, adaptability and the predictions, I think things will be much better. So what we did is, we rolled out this concept and did a weekly review. Every week review, because hallmark of execution is weekly review. Our sales to everything is week-based, 52-week sales. We have also seen top big-notch companies have weekly reviews. When you go down, it is important to have daily reviews. If you ask me, we have 2,500 salespeople across the country. Everybody is reviewed the next day for their sales by their supervisors. Just a 7 to 8 minutes review, that's it, on key 4 parameters, period. What is that done against what the computer said, mobile kind of this thing fed, whether they have adhered to all these things, where they slipped off. That is also fed to the supervisors. Very readily computer is feeding to them. They have to look at where they have not done, where they have done, what is to be reviewed, period. So all I would like to say is the weekly review, the lower the level, daily review, executives and above, I think weekly review is a must. If you follow this execution rigor, I think that will be wonderful. But all said and done, please do not ignore innovation. Invest in your technology area, be it R&D, whatever it gives you strength. Please do that. That will take you to the next level. With these few things, I will close my remarks. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Hope this is useful.
Great insight with us. I'm sure everyone got the knowledge about the digitalization, and is now the question and answer session. Definitely he has covered maximum coverage of the process and what are the important points to be taken care in because he can speak generally. But if the question from your side is come, maybe he can answer immediately for you. So I request to raise some question from particularly in your industry, what you want to know about how to go about digitalization, or any other doubt you can ask him. Thank you.
Yes, please. I can go on and on, because given the 30 minutes of my time slot, I just restricted kind of this thing. So I only picked up few points and talked.
MSMEs.
Not necessary. That's a myth.
Okay.
Online versions are much cheaper.
Oh, I see.
Much cheaper.
Yeah,
So you want SAP B1 is there, S4 HANA is also there. Both are SAP versions. Both are available at a throwaway price. Not expensive.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, Mr.
And
Rangnath.
for all our companies, small companies, the new companies what we float, we use SAP only, online versions. For Kavinkar, it's this thing, full licensed versions. But this is a kind of this thing, this is available at a very affordable price for the small companies, is what I would say. And even up to 1,000 crore, you can comfortably use those, this thing. And after that, you can upgrade to the next level.
Yeah, you spoke extremely well. Very, very insightful speech. Wonderful. My question is that, you see, as we are growing company, we have an old staff who are working with us for about, say, 15 years, 20 years. As technology comes in, we want to get in new people. First is even in the new people to understand the business, it will take some time. So they need the help of the old people. And the older the people they are in the organization, they want to edge out the new person. So for the new person to learn the business or learn the products or learn the product line, it will take time. Whereas they will come with the technical know-how. So there is always some fear, and you can't, working at the top level or as the owner of the company, you just can't, get down to the working level. So how did you as a company handle this, or did you have this issue at all?
First of all, my question is this struggle internal or external?
It will be internal, generally internal.
Correct. It's mostly internal, highly controllable. You and your own staff. Correct. So it can be solved by dialogue, alignment of mind. How much time it's required, keep doing it more and more. Okay? People are not just like that. One time you say they will not change. Can you spend 2 hours, 3 hours with them, articulate, allow them to express their viewpoints, fears, and work with them? So once you work with them very closely and help them out how to change, I think that would make a big difference, is my viewpoint. If people are not willing to change, then I think you need to take the mediocrity intolerance wand. Okay? Then it's mediocrity. Willing to change is very important. But not, I don't know, if the attitude is right, please support your staff. If the attitude is not right, I think if you tolerate mediocre attitude, not willing to learn, I will continue to do this way only, I will not change, then I think it's your own peril. Because you define your altitude. So please understand, you are not the only person who is giving employment. The employment opportunity is many. A lot of companies are there. There are so many ways people can get self-employed also. So let's not have a zamindar mindset that I am the only employer. What will they do? Please understand. They leave your company and join elsewhere also. So that's same thing, no? When that is the case, but be polite, be passionate, be hand-holding, put your best, be reasonable. All these things, if it goes well, people will love your company. At the end of the day, fairness matters. But be fair to your company as well.
Very nice, sir.
Huh?
They have been picked by a bigger company with a throwaway price. They easily take away. So how to retain this marketing team?
When the demand supply gap will always take over. When the demand is far higher for marketing professionals and the supply is less, particularly the trained people, this attrition will happen. So one of the ways to do that is, I would say, there are companies who are doing very innovative way. If your salary is, say, for example, 10 lakhs, okay? They say, if you stay with me, you will get in 5 years' time or 4 years' time, you will get 10 lakhs per annum is this thing, you will get 13 lakhs per annum average. So it's built into that. but the 3 lakhs per annum additional will be paid at the end of the 4th or 5th year as a lump sum. So the person knows a 30% already pitched into my this thing, but if I stay back, I get end of the 4-year or 5-year period. This technique works very well for a lot of companies. Okay. Then the bonus hanging on. One of the important things you need to look at is, am I providing a good learning environment? Do they enjoy the job? So if they learn, if they grow in terms of that, they would love it. So that is one thing. Another way to look at this is one way I would say is retaining that kind of thing. Another way is, how do I train the next herd fast? Second line need to be strong. If my attrition rate is once in 15 months or 18 months, my next line should be ready so that I don't go and recruit laterally. Lateral recruitment will come at the cost of destroying the current culture. So as far as possible, at the mid and senior level, please do not recruit laterally as far as possible. Unless company requires, I require a very different culture. My current team is not able to think. The internal, which we are very much inward looking, I require a very different perspective. Then companies go and recruit. This is what we have seen time and again world over. So I would very strongly recommend, please look at training as a very major weapon of instrument. This is what I would say. And we are looking at. Earlier we used to say one person will take 6 months for training. Now we are challenging. Can we develop a person to be equal to that kind of thing in 45 days time? So that we have compressed, we are successful. I can tell you, we are successful in marketing, we are successful in R&D. Easily up to a 2-year-old person, normally we put them on a job. We are able to train them very fast, but we are giving them a lot of load in the first 45 days. Lot of tests also. It's like a torture. It's like going back to MBA college. So that kind of a thing, we put them on that trigger. We are seeing them coming out well. End of the day, they are very happy because their knowledge has substantially gone up. Their value has gone up. Yes, please. You are asking.
I am John Morris, sir. Chartered accountant.
Yeah.
I am thinking to go to the next level. The qualified accountants are the need for this country and particularly for MSME sector, sir. Technically, nobody is enjoying the available benefits in the market. Their interest rate, less interest rate, subsidies or anything. And for example, if you are paying your advance tax this month, 15th is the last date for paying of advance tax. I don't know, if I am asking them to raise their hands, it's going to be embarrassment. So we need, as a great personality, you can work on this. We are working a project, each village in the country should have a CA. Technically, with 1/10 of capacity, this country is living with the qualified accountants are not there, sir. Further, this August body should do something, sir. People like you can do that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks.
Good evening. Thank you so much for your speech and your thoughts with us. At the end of the speech, you had mentioned that do not ignore innovation.
Do not ignore
innovation.
Innovation.
So I wanted to ask you, where do we start? How do we take that first step or the first set of few steps in terms of innovation? Innovation could be in our technology, in our products, in the way we execute our operations. It could be anywhere. But how do we start? Where do we start?
No, but one of the ways to look at this, you need to ask which industry you are in.
I am into manufacturing, plastic products.
Plastic products. So if we need to hire engineers from plastic technology, particularly the polymer science specialists, and if it is machines or polymers, depends on that kind of this thing. I would recommend 2-3 years of experienced person. But one of the important thing, when you put up an R&D, our learning is this: recruit somebody who is able to read well and grasp well. So our test in interview itself is that ability to read 200 words per minute, okay, base, and at least 70% absorption of that. This is clearly it's being tested. Okay, this is one test we do that. And then application of that. I not only absorb, but I am able to replicate and apply in the following test when it's given. So, absorption and application. If that capacity is there, this person has, this 60-70% absorption can be enhanced to 75, 80, 85, it can go on, not an issue. But if these three are this thing, they are fit for R&D. Now we are recruiting most of the things, this we call it IIY, invest in yourself, this ability to upgrade oneself. In our company, we give an hour per day for about 7-8 functions in the working time itself. It's a standard syllabus clearly given, which area they have to acquire proficiency, they have to invest themselves, and weekly there is a presentation on that they have to make, and also how many ideas generated on that, how much is applied, and what is the impact. Everything is measured by software. And phenomenal flow of innovation is coming through. We are very happy, and people are also very happy. I have come up with this idea, this is implemented, this is the impact I have created to the organization. We also know whom to be given more salary increase now. You understand? So that's very important. And we are able to create second line very fast. Thank you.
Yeah, 1 second. Thank you. And I request Mr. Santosh, just show our love, some affection to Mr. C.K. Ranganathan, a small bouquet as a gesture of love. Next, we can invite Mr. C.K. Kumaravel. He also has a similar kind of experience, and he also known to the industry. I request Mr. C.K. Ranganathan.
Thank you, Axis Bank and DNB, for giving me this opportunity to meet a wonderful set of entrepreneurs. I love two things. One is to talk to entrepreneurs, another is to talk to students. Here is an accomplished set of entrepreneurs, so it's even more special. Thank you for that wonderful opportunity. And it's also very nice to follow my brother, and very nice to listen to the keynote speaker, Sangram, for today. Thank you so much. Nothing great in this world can be made without infrastructure. And infrastructure cannot be made without money. And money can be made only by entrepreneurs. That's why I always call entrepreneurs to be very special and most needed in this world. I call them as the new age freedom fighters who will pull India from the shackles of poverty. திருவள்ளுவர் ரொம்ப அழகாக 7 வார்த்தையில் சொல்லுவார், பொருள் இல்லாருக்கு இவ்வுலகில்லை, அருள் இல்லாருக்கு அவ்வுலகில்லை. அதாவது, if you don't have money, this world is not for you. If you don't have divine grace, that world is not for you. அவையார் இருந்திருந்தாங்கன்னா இப்போ அறம் செய்ய விரும்புன்னு சொல்லியிருக்க மாட்டாங்க, பொருள் செய்ய விரும்புன்னு சொல்லியிருப்பாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு அழகான ஒரு காலகட்டத்தில் நகர்ந்துட்டுருக்குறோம். பட் அன்ஃபார்ச்சுனேட்லி நம்ம இந்த சினிமா நடிகர்கள் நடிகைகள்லாம் பார்த்து அவங்கள ஹீரோஸ் அண்ட் ஷீரோஸ்ன்னு சொல்லிட்டுருக்குறோம். ஆக்சுவலி தே ஷுட் பி கால்ட் அஸ் என்டர்டெய்னர்ஸ். த ரியல் ஹீரோஸ் அண்ட் ஷீரோஸ் ஆர் ஒன்லி ஆண்டர்ப்ரனர்ஸ். Because entrepreneurs alone can provide jobs. Like MSME தான் ரொம்ப முக்கியமானது. Big companies are important. They can provide scale, they can bring down the quality of the, what you call scale of the product, bring down the price of the, what you call quality of the product, they can improve, they can bring down the price of the product, but they cannot create jobs. What India requires and also the world requires is the person who is able to give jobs. That is why Abdul Kalam ரொம்ப அழகா சொல்வார், India doesn't require job seekers, India requires job providers. India requires entrepreneurs அப்படின்னு சொல்வார். அந்த மாதிரி MSME தான் ஒரு முக்கியமான ஒரு போர்ஷன் ஆஃப் தட் ஆண்டர்ப்ரனர்ஷிப். அந்த இவங்க இன்னைக்கு நம்ம நிறைய we are celebrating the marriages நல்லா செலிப்ரேட் பண்ணுறோம், பர்த்டேஸை செலிப்ரேட் பண்ணுறோம், பேபி ஷவரை செலிப்ரேட் பண்ணுறோம். What we actually should celebrate is business showers. Especially when an entrepreneur starts a new business, all of us to come together and celebrate that entrepreneur and the venture. And that is the way of showing them that I am with you. And that is the need of the hour at this point of time. And that is whenever there is an entrepreneur conference, I come there and say, we are supporting you and we are with you.
The, um, I run a salon chain called Naturals, and one of the most affected businesses in the COVID. And COVID, nobody, I think the entire world is not prepared, so are we. When your mind is weak, the situation will look like a problem. When your mind is normal, the same situation will look like a challenge. When your mind is strong, same situation will look like an opportunity. 70% of the people will think COVID is a big problem. What can I do? My job was going well. My business was doing well. Suddenly this COVID came. I was not prepared. The world was not prepared. The government did not support me. I am in trouble. I am not responsible for that. Whereas the 30% of the people said, thank you very much, COVID. You have been a big blessing. I have been going very fast. You gave me an opportunity to pause and reflect. Look at what are all the challenges around me. What are all the problems which is in my business. What are all the holes there, what I should plug? What are all the nearby opportunities where I can really make a difference? What are all the adjacent opportunity? I started looking at it, and then the life is so bliss. Imagine you are going in a forest and suddenly one lion comes in front of you. You have a problem. Imagine you are going in the same forest and the same lion comes in front of you and you have an AK-47 gun in your hand. Now the lion has a problem. The lion which has come in front of you is the COVID. The point is, are we going to learn with new skills? Are we going to go with a gun, or are we going to go unequipped? What are the new skills we have learned during the COVID? What are the new techniques? Alvin Toffler puts it so beautifully. He says, the illiterates of the 21st century are not the ones who cannot read and write. The illiterates of the 21st century are the ones who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. What is that you have unlearned? What is that you have learned something new? What is that you relearned? And that's what is going to make a difference between the winner and the loser. After COVID, you need to reinvent yourself, reinvent physically, reinvent mentally, reinvent financially, reinvent business models. What has worked before COVID will not work after COVID, because the customers have fundamentally changed. The way in which they start looking at opportunity, the way in which they start looking at their lives have completely changed. Today, a hybrid, a work from home culture is going to stay for life. You cannot, try and defend that. You can only say 50%, 40%, 30%, but work from home is going to be a culture which we should be prepared for. From now on, every house should have a house, or one office room should be there in every house. It has to be built. A real estate person, it's a wonderful opportunity, because today he is going to build with a new customer is going to look for such an opportunity. Are we going to provide such opportunity is what is going to make a difference. For Naturals, as I told before that, people used to look at the Naturals brand to come into the salon. Then they used to look into the plush interiors, what my franchise partners have put into that. Then they used to, even the stylist used to play a very important role. They used to look for this stylist or that stylist before they book an appointment. After COVID, there is only one criteria. Is it safe for me? And that is the way in which the customers are looking at. So what was SOP before, which is the standard operation procedures, we changed it into OSP, which is the operation standard protocols. We hired a doctor, and he in turn told us what are all the precautions we need to take to run the salon chain. And that safety precautions we have put together, and that is how we have looked at the market. The safety first, customers first, and digital first. These are the three changes what we have made. First one is the safety first, what I have told you. Customer first is always, customer is the most important visitor on our premises. He is not dependent on us, we are dependent on him. He is the culture at which the company's heart of the company is built. And now the mobile first. Today customer, way back in 2000 when there is something called Skype, people used to use the Skype for overnight calling. Especially for international calling at that point of time used to be very costly, and people started using the Skype came, and after that everybody used to call overseas using the Skype. Around the early 2000 when Skype was coming out with the first video call, at that point of time they had some 20 lakh audio connections. They have to stop all the audio connections to test one video connection. That is the bandwidth required by Skype for the video connection. Today you look at India, what is the status? Even the watchman is looking at only mobile phone. He is not even sleeping. Mobile is the cheapest. So out of 90 crore people are having a mobile phone, 60 crore people are having a smartphone. Cheapest data in the world, and the mobile has completely disrupted. Nowhere in the world the UPI, the data payment, the what you call, we scan and pay, this kind of innovation has not happened anywhere in the world. Today one vendor, one coconut vendor is saying, do me GPay. And that is the kind of reach the GPay and this UPI has managed to create. And we have adopted it so well. I think that is the beauty of India. We can adapt to any situations much more fast, and in a jiffy we can move forward. And the digital adaptation. But when it comes to salon business, we are a high-touch business. While technology can be used as an influencer, it can never replace. Even now, you cannot have a haircut by giving a high-tech. I cannot give you a what you call technology haircut for you. You still have to come to the salon, and that's when I'll be able to provide that. But technology helps in so many ways. It helps us in terms of training. It helps us in terms of the customers are searching online. Customers are what you call most of the decisions are made online. Only the execution is made offline. So to that extent, we should be able to put that together and do. My brand ambassador is Kareena Kapoor, but nobody today bothers about her. Today, if I come and say that Kareena Kapoor is using natural salon, they said, hell with you. I want a neighbor, my next door person, to say your salon is good. I know you have paid money, and because of that, she is coming and saying. Earlier, they used to say that when Santro car was there, which Shah Rukh Khan used to be a brand ambassador, one red color Santro car, and because of that, a lot of people started buying red color Santro car. So that is how much the celebrities used to influence the decision making those point of time. Today, celebrities are democratized. Today, no more celebrities. Each and every person living next door is a celebrity. No more going to this, what you call, the cinema actresses and cricket stars. People don't believe that. While it can give visibility, the believability of the celebrities have been democratized in this world, which is a very good thing, what is happening, and that's how the business is moved on. But what is the important, the trait or the what you call, the characteristics required to manage in this post-corona world? One of the important characteristics what we all need is a flexible thinking. A lot of people are rigid in their thinking. We need to come out of that, and we need to have flexible thinking. Albert Einstein was once running a class in Princeton University, and he was giving a paper to his advanced physics students, and all the people, his attender, Albert Einstein's assistant came to him and said, Sir, you have given the same paper, what you have given the last year. You are again giving the same paper. Einstein said, yes, I know. And the attender again asked him, sir, it is the same student also. And how can you give the same student the same paper and same thing? And he said, the answers have changed. And that's the world we are in at this point of time. The changes are not, it is not expanding. The changes are not expanding. It is exploding. How much are we ready? The changes are happening daily. And in a digital world, it is really exploding. BlackBerry, when it was there way back and in the early 2000s, it was one of the most admired or the fancied business phone. More than 50% of the business phone market was with BlackBerry. And when iPhone came into the market, the senior directors of the BlackBerry sat together and they analyzed the phone, and they said that this is at best, this is a toy. And it is the flexible thinking what is the need of the hour. To have the flexible thinking, there are three, what can we do? There are three things which is working on. First one is to come out of this, you need to have something called, you should come out of your comfort zone. Comfort zone is the most dangerous zone. We are all very comfortable and we want to live in chill, we want to cool. I think that is the most dangerous zone. When normal recently one guy went to him and he asked him, hey sir, I have a lot of problems and I was told that you are going to give me the solution.
for all the problem, I want the solution. He said, no, I'm busy now, I can't handle you now, come tomorrow. And this guy said, no, I don't have time, I won't be able to see, you have to give me a solution now. And he took him by the hand and he took him to the 4 blocks away and he told that there are 300 people sleeping here. This is the most safest place. If you don't want any problem, go there and sleep. And that was a option. Okay, so if you don't want any problem, only place available is you have to go and sleep in the march. So you have to come out of the comfort zone. What can you do to come out of the comfort zone? You need to set new goals. And that's what we need out there.
Whichever dog I feed more that week, that dog will win. Within each one of you, there is a rich dog, there is a poor dog. There is an employee dog, there is an entrepreneur dog. There is an active dog, there is a fearful dog. There is an ambitious dog, there is a fearful dog. Which dog are you feeding? And that is the question. That is where you should set new goals. Come out of your comfort zone. Set new goals. And that is the first step. Second step is fear. Fear is the worst thing. Fear of success and fear of failure. Most people are fearful of what you call, we think it is only fear of failure. There are a lot of people who are fearful of success also. So fear is an acronym for fantasized experience appearing real or false evidence appearing real. So people are very fearful. And again, this story of one monk who was going to the, he wanted to see the Himalayan temple, and he was going into the door, and one helpful guide was guiding him. As he was walking into the temple, he saw 2 dogs, and they were tied and they were very ferocious. And the monk looked at that guide, and the guide said, "Don't worry, monk, these dogs are sufficiently tied, the chain is strong enough, you don't have to worry." And he started narrating the history of the temple, and he started speaking. And somewhere down the line, the monk heard that the dog barking, and he looked at, and the dog is sufficiently chained. He was not worried, and he was further going in the corridor. The guide again speaks to them, and this time he again hears the dog barking. He looks at it, and the dog is running towards him. And suddenly one thing happened. The monk also ran. But instead of running away from the dog, the monk ran towards the dog. And the dog became soft and it went back. That is how you can handle the fear. When the fear, if you face the fear will go off. If you don't face the fear will come and catch you. The dog can be made only by running it to that, and that's how you can handle the fear. The third one is called the learned helplessness. It is not helplessness, it is learned helplessness. A lot of times, it is an imagined fear what we are trying to solve. It is imagined problem what we are trying to solve. The elephant, when it is a baby, the baby elephant will be chained, and the other end of the chain will be tied to one peg. The baby elephant will try to cut open, and it will try, and it will cut its leg, and the elephant will bleed profusely. The elephant will remember even when it becomes one 5,000-pound big one. And you have seen in temple, the elephant will stand there, it will move its leg like that, it will stand there only, one chain will be there, other end of the chain will not be attached to anything, but the elephant will stand. That's called learned helplessness. If you want to come out of that, you need to come out of that learned helplessness. Learned helplessness, nobody can help you because it is your problem. You only have to solve that problem. The first one, comfort zone, people can help you can set up goal. Fear, you can get it, but the learned helplessness is the most important one because you only can find a problem for that. This is the kind of flexible thinking. This is the kind of thinking what is required for you to move forward. Entrepreneurship is not new to Indians. Scaling is. Success is like knowing the combination to your number lock. If you put the number right, the lock will open. The lock won't mind whether you are a male or a female, black or white, rich or poor, educated or uneducated. Today, we don't require Starbucks to come to India and to sell coffee. Do you think we don't make a better coffee here? Saravana Bhavan makes much better coffee. But the difference is for Starbucks, making a coffee is systems and process. For Saravana Bhavan, it is a secret. And that is the difference. Entrepreneurs need to open out. If you want small successes, you can keep it as a secret. If you want to build big success, it has to be only the systems and process. Individuals don't scale. It is only systems and process that scale. The difference between small companies and big companies, the way in which my brother was speaking, when he was small, how he operated and how he is now operating are two different things. There are 5 Ds, which is the difference between how a small company operates and how a big company operates. The first D is called doing. Lot of people, they are the boss, they want to be in control. Every check they will only sign. All the work they will do. Important customer comes, he will say, the salesman, you move off, I will attend to him. And that is called doing. It is not important to be busy. So are the ants. The question is, what are we busy about? And Peter Drucker says more eloquently, he says, there is nothing more useless than doing something very efficiently, that which should not be done at all. First, identify what you should do. There are a lot of things you should not be doing. You look at the big company, they will know what he was talking about, what are the 2 important things, and that only they will look at. They will not be looking at everything. And that is how they manage the big company, doing. Identify what you should do and what you should not do. The second one is called delegating. I think again Thiruvalur ரொம்ப அழகா சொல்வார். இதனால் இவன் முடிப்பான் என்றாய்ந்து அதனை அவன் கண் விடல். இதை விட திரும்ப 7 வார்த்தையில ரொம்ப அழகா சொல்லவே முடியாது. This work யார் நல்லா பண்ணுவாங்கன்னு பார்த்து அந்த ஒர்க்கை you give it to him and then keep aside. நம்ம அதுக்கப்புறம் போயிட்டு அவனை மானிட்டர் பண்ணுறேன், சூப்பர்வைஸ் பண்ணுறேன்னு உயிர் எடுக்கக்கூடாது. அதை கொடுத்துட்டோமா அதோட தள்ளி நின்னணும் நம்ம. தட்ஸ் கால்டு டெலிகேஷன். நீங்கள் அது கொடுக்கறதுக்கு முன்னாடி நீ யாருக்கு கொடுக்கணும், என்ன கொடுக்கணும் எல்லாம் யோசிக்கலாம் நீ. பட் ஆஃப்டர் தட் யூ ஷுட் நாட் பி டூயிங் தட். The next one is called deciding. The deciding is very important. Lot of people were decision making. That's the lot of time people we use today's intelligence and look at yesterday's decision making. 1990 நான் வந்து ECRல வந்து 1 ஏக்கர் நிலம் வாங்கியிருந்தேன்னா இன்றைக்கி எவ்வளோ வந்து அந்த லேண்ட் வேல்யூ இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகிருக்கும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி யோசிக்கிறது. அப்படி இல்லைன்னா அந்த காலத்தில் வந்து பவுன் வந்து 400 ரூபா தான் விற்றுது, அப்போ வாங்கியிருந்தா இன்றைக்கி வந்து எவ்வளோ ரூபா நான் வச்சுருப்பேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லணும். அப்படி இல்லைன்னா இந்த பொண்ணை கல்யாணம் பண்ணுறதுக்கு பதில் இந்த பொண்ணை கல்யாணம் பண்ணியிருந்தா என் வாழ்க்கை எப்படி இருக்கும், இப்படி வந்து டிசிஷன் மேக்கிங் வந்து நம்ம கேனாட் இது பண்ண முடியாது. டிசிஷன் யூ ஹாவ் டு மேக் இட் ஃபார் டுடே. Do not use your intelligence to dissect the past. Use it to construct the future. You are here given this intelligence at this point of time. At this point of time, use all your intelligence and take that decision. There is no right decision and wrong decision in the beginning. First, you have to take that decision and then make that decision the right decision. That's called a decision making. The next one is called dropping. There are a lot of times, again, we need to drop certain things. What is robbing our time? What is robbing our efficiency? What is robbing our growth? So a lot of time there may be an employee who will be our brother-in-law, who will be our friend, who will be our this thing, and he will be an hindrance to our growth, but we don't have guts to drop him. If there is a one rotten tomato in the basket, you have to drop that rotten tomato for the good of the other good tomatoes. If you don't drop that rotten tomato, it will spoil all the other good tomatoes. So drop that. Then there is dropping in terms of today we are all watching the cricket match is taking a lot of time. IPL is there. Some people are watching 5-day match repeat telecast Zimbabwe versus India. Even Kapil Dev is not watching. I don't know why we are watching. And today with so much of channels, how much the TV is taking. If you come out of TV, then there is a WhatsApp has now come. I believe officially it has taken 6 hours of everybody's time. And that's how much WhatsApp, the last thing people know, earlier and all, they will see God picture and sleep and open, they will see the God picture. Today, no more God picture. Only Facebook or WhatsApp is our wake up and sleeping pills now. And that's how much the social media. So that's how much the impact is there. That's called dropping. Whatever is not favoring your growth, drop it. The last one is called designing. You need to design your life. Take 1 hour a day and think about how you are going to improve your business, what new geography you are going to go, what new products are you going to introduce, what new technologies are you going to introduce. And if you are thinking like that every day, I think your life will go to the next level and the next level. And those are the 5 Ds, which is very important, which I want to leave it as my parting thought. And again, I take this opportunity to thank the Axis Bank and the DNB for giving me this opportunity. Wishing you all the best. Together, let us build a beautiful India. Thank you and best wishes.
Thank you, Mr. Kumaravel, for sharing great insight with us. Again, the second question session, so people can ask questions. Definitely, it's a totally intact team. Thanks to each and everyone. Definitely, both the section was very useful to you all. And maybe please start some questions to Mr. Kumaravel.
Happy evening, sir. Thank you, both the brothers, for this insightful 1.5 hours we spent here. I belong to the academia, and the question is, we have been talking about systems, processes, IoT, everything, but the gap between the academia and the requirement of the industry has been growing. Or we would say that the academia is not able to fulfill the needs of the industry today. Can you just give some insights how, as an academician, we can improve that? Thank you.
I think it's a very deep question, how the academician can, academia can come to. I think it is the need of the hour is, there is no point in reading outdated materials. I think the Bill Gates said so beautifully, he says, banking is required, banks are not. I think we have reached a stage where education is required, schools and colleges are not. I think that is the stage we have reached at this point of time. We need to question why they are not required. Because there is homeschooling has come, and YouTube is able to teach you much better content in 1 month what a student is able to learn from a 3-year degree. And this is the reality at this point of time. Unless the schools are going to, the college is going to teach something which is very interesting. Because students are not interested to come to college. Is it interesting enough? Because today jobs are, the children, young children are able to make much more money by getting tutored in the YouTube. Enough and more knowledge is available there. What new are you giving? What is the new skill are you teaching there? I think that is where the academia has to look at the requirement in a completely new lens. The changes are exploding. How long can you have the old curriculum and teach to the new students? The students' requirement has changed. Today I was told that there was an engineering graduates at one point of time. If you have to go find an engineering graduate, if you go and ask one Iron Man, where is the engineer's house? They will say, go 4 blocks away, take one left and the green house. First floor is the engineer's house. If you now go and ask the Iron Man, where is the engineer's house? He will say, I am the engineer. So that is the stage at which the education is there at this point of time. Time for the industry to come 2 steps backward and align with the academicians, and for the colleges and schools curriculum has to completely change in tune with the requirement much faster. Every 10-year change in curriculum is not going to help. We need to change in curriculum every 2 years and every 3 years.
I think we can take the rest of the question over cocktail and dinners.
Yeah. So, thank you, Mr. Kumaravel, on our guest, a small bouquet from our geography at Mr. B. Santosh on behalf of this entire audience.